The engine bay of Outpost 17 reeked of ion fluid and overheated durasteel. I wiped a streak of oil from my brow and muttered curses at the stubborn plasma linkage that refused to reconnect. I wasn't a soldier. Wasn't a diplomat. I was just an engineer. Daniel Kess, maintenance technician 3rd class, stuck on the edge of the Varellan frontier where humans and aliens barely kept from shooting each other. My job: fix broken stuff, get underpaid, and avoid the occasional interspecies brawl in the mess hall. Until she walked in. She was tall, even for a Varellan, with ash-blue skin and an angular face that looked sculpted from metal and moonlight. Her armor shimmered like liquid obsidian, but it was battered, dented, and dripping coolant. She cradled a damaged grav pack like it was a wounded animal. "Human engineer," she said, her accent sharp but oddly musical. "You will repair this. Now." I blinked, half expecting a hidden camera. Please," he offered. She tilted her head. That was a request. That was the moment I met Trelai Zinn, daughter of Varellan High matriarchs, battlefield tactician, and apparently someone who thought please was a luxury. And for reasons unknown to anyone, she just asked me for help. I took the grav pack to my workstation while she stood awkwardly in the corner. Her long arms crossed over her chest, watching my every move like a bird of prey. "So," I ventured, unscrewing a casing, "what happened to this thing?" "It's fused like someone flew through a solar flare. I was evading Bloodhawks on Cerrix 3, she said. They swarmed. I detonated a flare charge mid-descent. Survived. Barely. I glanced up. You were solo jumping on Cerrix. That's insane. I shrugged. To lead is to bleed. The young must prove themselves. I couldn't argue with that. Minutes turned to hours. She said little, but I caught her watching me intently, eyes flicking between my hands and my face, as if trying to decipher something alien. Finally, I snapped the casing closed and powered up the grav pack. It hummed to life, stabilized, and floated gently above the bench. There, I said, dusting my hands off. Good as new. Might even handle better now. She stepped forward silently, examined the device, then looked at me. You possess dexterity and precision uncommon among your species. Thanks, I replied. We call it having steady hands. She hesitated, then said softly, Thank you, Daniel of Earth. And blinked. You remembered my name. Of course, she said. I do not forget those who save my life. Save her life. It was just a grav pack. To crash on Cerrix is death. You made flight possible again. Her voice lowered. That is not nothing. She turned and walked out, but before the doors hissed shut, she paused. I will return, she said. Soon. She did return. Every few days. Sometimes with broken gear. Other times with nothing at all. Just questions. Why do humans touch so easily? She asked once, after seeing two humans high-five in the corridor. Camaraderie, I said. Connection. Some of us like showing affection. It's comforting. She pondered that. Varellans do not touch without purpose. It is intimate. He nodded. Well, maybe that's why your species thinks we're weird. She didn't smile exactly, but her eyes warmed. Or fascinating. Another time, she asked why I chose to become an engineer instead of a soldier. I fix things, I said simply. Guns break. Ships fall apart. People get hurt. I can help with that. It's not glamorous, but it matters. You repair more than machines, Daniel, she said quietly. You restore purpose. Word started spreading. People noticed Trelai spending more time near the human sectors. Whispers turned into rumors. Some human officers were nervous, afraid of diplomatic complications. Some Virellan warriors scoffed behind her back. One even confronted her in the corridor, calling her metal waste obsessed with soft-skinned primitives. She broke his jaw. That earned her a warning from her command, and a knowing glance from me. Later that night she showed up at my workshop again. You shouldn't have to fight your own people, I told her. They fight tradition, she said. But traditions crack when tested. We sat in silence for a moment. Then she took something from a pouch on her armor. Metal ring. Virellan craftsmanship. Elegant, coiled like a helix. She handed it to me. What's this? Yes. It is a sigil, she said. My crest. Only a consort may wear it. I stared at her. Wait, what? I have chosen, she said plainly. You restored my flight. You speak with no fear. You understand my thoughts before I form them. In Virellan rite that is enough. I name you consort. My jaw worked uselessly. Trelai. This isn't a joke, right? She looked almost hurt. I do not jest. Do humans not accept honors from those they trust? Yes, but this is huge. Political, cultural, romantic. Of course, she said. I have watched you, admired your mind, your hands, your restraint. You see beauty where others see utility. I laughed nervously. That's probably the most poetic thing anyone said about my grease-stained hands. She stepped closer. Her breath was cool against my cheek. You are not like them. And neither am I. I took the ring and slid it onto my finger. The metal warmed instantly. Her smile, finally visible, was like a sunrise on an alien moon. There were complications, of course. Virellan elders issued a formal inquiry. Her own mother, the High Matriarch, demanded an audience. We traveled to the diplomatic corps on Gelver 9. It was tense, ceremonial, awkward. But when asked if I would stand beside Trelai not as a servant or curiosity, but as equal, I answered with one word. Yes. That answer sparked ripples across both species. Some mocked us, others applauded. But no one could deny the symbolism. Human technician, an alien noble, a pair that defied everything old and ossified. Back at Outpost 17, I returned to fixing ships and reactors. Life didn't pause. But things were different. Trelai often sat beside me now, watching my work, sometimes helping. She learned the names of my tools. Even tried earth food. She liked chocolate but thought coffee was poisoned firewater. She still called me engineer in public. But in private, she whispered my name like it was sacred. And sometimes, just before drifting into sleep under the glow of alien starlight, she'd rest her hand on mine and murmur, "Consort," like it was a promise, like it was forever.